All right, welcome to our Divorced Dads Support Group podcast, our very first episode. It's where we learn how to drive to thrive in our own lives, and we help dads shift out of that survival mode. Let's call it that. It's okay to get stuck, but it's not okay to stay there. And I got my good new friend, co-admin in the group, Gio, and I don't know how to say your last name. I'll let you introduce who you are, and let's go.
Sounds good. So, last name is Sardo.
Sardo.
Yep. From Montreal, slowly transitioning a move into the US. I wanted to get involved with this group because divorce is not the end of the road. And for a lot of guys, we tend to believe that that's it, life's over. And, I like to say I'm twice divorced because I didn't learn the first time. And I've made it through, gained a lot of experience that I never asked for, and ended up turning this into a career. I've become a divorce coach. I work with family law firms in the US
So
on
you're
their
you're not a
legal.
lawyer. Just so to be clear, you're not a lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer, and
Okay.
often when you're going to see me make comments on posts, I'm going to put not legal advice, right? So it's
Exactly.
coaching. But I just have this wealth of experience and connections that I want to share with all of our brothers in the group to show them that there is life after divorce.
Absolutely. And your story, and I think you've got a servant's heart, like I do, of being able to help our brothers out. I've been through it. 20 years ago, I went through a nasty deal. I'm currently separated. Some part of me says, who am I to come out here and help these other guys? And I think that's the question, isn't it, Gio? I mean, who are we to be admins in this group? Who are we to be some kind of leaders? And before we chatted just a little bit, we didn't ask for this. We didn't fill out a job application.
Nope.
We just didn't. And but we are trying to make something out of our experience that helps build a bridge for these divorced dads that get stuck.
Yep.
I've been a truck driver. I know what it's like to get stuck in the snow, stuck on ice, stuck in the mud. I've been stuck in so many different ways, and there are a lot of ways, emotionally, mentally, to get stuck. But I think the thing that we're looking to do here is to help these divorced dads, and I like the fact that you call them brothers because we're brothers. This
Yep.
group, um, when I find the ladies have come in, I I, I show them the exit ramp because this there's no room for that. It's going to sound chauvinistic. I don't care what it sounds like. This
But
is
it isn't.
it
It
is
isn't
exactly
because you've got specific groups for everybody. And at a certain point, and you can look at all the stereotypes when it comes to relationships and women and this and that. Um, an expression that I use often is opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, but you
exactly.
don't have to smell everybody's fart. And this is a group where we want to create that safe haven for men to come in and talk about it openly with other guys without that random fear of judgment.
Absolutely. A safe haven. Truck driving, I know about that. You get to a safe they do. They have areas that are called a safe haven, a truck stop, a way station, a place that gets you off the road where you can feel safe. There's nobody going to hit you from the highway. There's not going to be an accident or whatever. They're going to leave you alone. The DOT officers are not supposed to, some actually do, come into truck stops and look for infractions and then wait for you to leave and they pull you over. They're not supposed to do that. But this face group, and I talk about a convoy a lot, the old style of convoy where you know they travel together and we're all on the same road. We might be in different places, but we're all traveling together to go from this stuck place, which you, Geo, I'm sure you've been stuck in a certain mindset, a certain way of thinking, a certain way of believing, like I was. And
I
have it.
have, and you know, going through my first divorce, which started 12 years ago, went through all kinds of different things, different types of relationship. I was in an abusive relationship from 2016 to 2019, where I was the one being abused emotionally, psychologically. Got through that, got married again, and went through, pitfalls again. At the end of the day, we're human. We're going to go through these ups and downs,
Absolutely.
but it's your decision as to whether or not you're going to get out of it. And when I made my decisions to get out of certain situations, it's when my life started skyrocketing every single time. And this last time, I'm hitting heights that I never thought possible, and my dreams are starting to come true because I decided that no matter what, I'm going to battle till
Absolutely.
there's
I love it.
nothing left in me.
I love it. And that's, this podcast, I see this podcast as a way to have some real talk like what we're doing right now, Gio. Real experiences, real raw experiences. Not one of, and it's going to be an extension of the group. I can see it that we can bring on guests. We can have different. This is for all of us. And if you notice, what we're trying to do is to have other brothers to come in with their ideas. Hey, I'm struggling with co-parenting. I'm struggling with finances. I'm struggling with this or that and the other. I can just see how we can pack this with not just stories, but ways or I don't know, whatever you want to call it, strategies, tactics, ways to keep moving forward. And I think that's the key. Uh,
Knowledge.
no,
Knowledge is power.
knowledge, exactly.
And what
But if
we've been through, Mike, you know, myself as a divorce coach now, you with your coaching, what we want to do, correct me if I'm wrong, is provide so much free content and wisdom that you never know what piece of content is going to help out. We had the one question about, career change and how do I change my career. I put in, a long comment, and you were like, well, make this a post. And that's what I'm doing. I'm preparing that now. The
beautiful,
more that we can educate, the more that there's a brother somewhere at some point that's going to come across and be like, okay, this can help me.
exactly, exactly. And uh, we don't talk a whole lot about coaching in the group. We're probably going to start doing that more now that we've come together as coaches and teaming up on a podcast. I could see us teaming up on some other things as well, just like you talked about, a post a here or there, and saying, hey, we're going to have a get together, or you know what I mean. I could see those kinds of things happening, and these get togethers can be for different things. And I'm excited. I'm excited for this because it is a way to serve these brothers. And I am of the same, let's get the free stuff out there. And if they want, coaches are about being able to, just like when I was in football, coaches don't go out on the field and play. They don't. And the whole idea of a life coach or a divorce coach is someone that's been through it, that can say, hey, uh, the divorced dad themselves are the ones on the field. They're the ones living their lives. They know what needs to happen, but we can be like I got the eagle back here, the eagle's eye view to say, wait a minute, the road that you're headed down, let me tell you about that road. I've
Yep.
been down that road and it sucks. You might want to think about what's ahead. And that's what a coach does. And being able to see things kind of before they happen, really, and say, instead of taking that road, hey, I've got to, let's get over this bridge and let's go this way. Does
Yeah.
does that make
And I
sense?
want to be absolutely clear with everybody watching and listening to this. Our goal is not to sell our services.
No,
Our goal is to educate. Our goal is to inform. This is a labor of love.
absolutely.
And, speaking for myself, I've built my career. I've got my position. I've got my company. I'm living well. This is a labor of love to offer knowledge, to offer support that, quite honestly, I didn't have through the majority of my situations. and this is our way of giving back, right? We hear always the
Absolutely.
story about athletes. They came from nothing, they go back and help in their community. This is what we want to do. So, there's no behind the scenes thinking of like we want to convert you all to clients. We want to
No,
just share our knowledge, share our wisdom. And if in all this we've helped one brother improve his life, we've done our job.
we've done. Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I want folks to know that Geo, we've never spoken before this first episode, have we?
Nope.
And I mean, this is raw. This is real. We don't have a. I'm not reading a script anywhere. I've got Geo's, his man. I've got him on my screen talking to him, and I don't have any other screens up. I love this. I love this being able to speak from the heart, and you know what we bring to the table, Geo. And I sure appreciate you, brother, for going through the hard knocks and then stepping up and being able to help these our brothers that they need it. This is not something you can see how much need there is when you see how many people, how many of these brothers are coming to the group, and how many posts come in that say, "Man, my wife wants to get a divorce, or we're separated, I'm having struggles with the kids, the finances, the all these things, the legal stuff, the mental stuff, the emotional stuff. You know, the need is there. The need
Yep.
is there. It
And
is
I know that a lot of brothers are thinking right now, okay, so here's these two guys on a screen. What makes them qualified?
Yep.
So um, I'll try to, in 30, 45 seconds, share a bit of my story so you guys know what it is I've been through.
Great place to
So,
start.
yeah, so I've got a son who's 15 years old in shared custody every other week. I divorced his mom 12 years ago, and she put me through the ringer. She threw everything in the kitchen sink at me. The overall divorce cost me over $100,000.
Mm.
When I got divorced, I was making $40,000 a year. I was getting emails. Where is his Mickey Mouse stuffed animal? So it was a campaign to absolutely slam me. Um, the funny thing is, and this is where I'm going to give hope, last November, 12 years later, my ex finally apologized for her behavior over the last 12 years. I don't know what epiphany she had. I don't know what happened. I did not ask. But ever since then, we've been able to co parent properly. My son is freaked the fuck out because he's like, Mom and dad are getting along. This is weird. Took us 12 years to get there.
Yeah.
Throughout all that, um, like I said, a 3 year abusive relationship where I was absolutely knocked down to nothing. Um, I have a brother who is a registered sex offender, so I had to deal with that in my family.
Mm.
And my second marriage came to an end because I go to my grave saying that this is the love of my life. However, she crossed a boundary um, when it came to substance abuse
Oh wow.
that that I could not recover from. So, as much as I love her, I let her go. I released her with love, and that is the reason for my second divorce. So, I've been through all this. During all this, I've always had a career in management. I've always hit my targets and surpassed them. In 2020, I became an entrepreneur. I became a business coach, helped plenty of companies, develop, get stronger. And last year is when I really started turning it up as a divorce coach and I'm a sales management consultant for family law firms in the US. So I'm using the experience of my divorces and all the pain that I've been through to help others,
Like a
to
launch
show
like
them that.
like a launch
Right?
pad. like a launch
Yeah,
pad kind of thing.
exactly. And I am very open and raw whenever I'm talking about my life experiences. You know, I'll speak with somebody about connecting with a law firm, and I'll dive into the situation about, my brother being a predator, or other situations that I've been through, because if I bare my soul, I will connect. And I am not ashamed of my story. I am not ashamed of the pain that I went through. But now I'm living my best life. I've got the best possible relationship with my son. I've got a 15-year-old who loves to hang out with dad.
Wow. That's
Um,
now that's rare.
yeah.
That's rare.
I've got a six-figure income, and I'm able to enjoy my life I'm not rich, but I'm enjoying life.
Exactly. That's where it counts right there.
And I want to use my story to inspire other brothers to be able to get there. No matter how deep you've been knocked down, you can get back up.
All right, Gio. I'm gonna now. That's tough one to follow. So I'm just gonna jump in. Uh, I stood in a doorway staring at a twin bed mattress. This is after 23 years of marriage, and it was a message. I had walked in the laundry room where I get cleaned off from working with cows, which was my dream job, making that six-figure income. Walked into the laundry room, no washer, no dryer. And I thought, we've been robbed. I opened the next door and it's a mess. All the furniture's gone, no fridge, no stove, no couches, nothing. I get to the bedroom door and I see the twin bed. that was that was the beginning of my first divorce. I was
Wow.
I was devastated. It was the message was and I didn't there was no rebuilding for the next 10 years. It was a tough road from there. And so that's my origin story. In fact, I'm not going to go deep into it, but I stood at those that know, I stood at the cliff. I didn't think life was worth living anymore. And it was my dog Coco that laid her head on my lap that brought me back. She looked up at me like what about me? So I was in rebuilding. Well, I was in teardown mode for quite a few years, and then it was when I got to become a trucker and that mission oriented uh, world, because you're on a mission when you and I come from a military background. My dad in the army served in Korea, and I served in the military, and it's a mission. And when I got into trucking, I should have found it earlier, but it was the launch pad for me to start rebuilding, to be on a mission, to see myself as a big rig. It's going to sound weird, but I talk about my mind being like the engine, like the powerful diesel engine with all that power. But if that power doesn't go anywhere, you just stay in your thoughts, stay in your thoughts, stay in your thought, and you press the accelerator. Nothing happens except the engine revving up, and you stress out, and that's where I was. And then pretty soon, I was like, the heart is kind of like the transmission. And when you engage the transmission, that transmission is always connected to the rear end, always. And it's not until that clutch lets out and you get those plates that come together, and now the engine is connected to the heart, to the transmission, and now your wheels can go. That's my that's my mission. I call myself the metaphor man. I don't know if
Love it.
anybody else calls me the metaphor man, but it's been my way of being able to uh, take the situation and kind of remove myself a little bit and to say, man, and now I'm on the mission to help other dads. Maybe they're not truckers. That doesn't matter. I mean, you can make it a race car, you can make it a motor, whatever has a motor. You can, I think most everything is going to have a motor, is going to have a transmission, is going to have some kind of rear end or wheel to run, and that's the basic. Doesn't have to be.
The comparison gets made everywhere because you've
Yeah.
got a heart, you've got a brain, you've got a soul. So,
So
you can connect it to whatever you want, whether it's music, whether it's the gym, whether it's a car, whether it's a truck.
yeah, and so that's where I come from, and that's kind of the basis of my serving on this mission, is to help my brothers in a way to help them see. My coaching is not, like on the legal side. My coaching is about how to harness the power of the mind, because the mind is very powerful. I don't even know how powerful. I mean, it is so powerful. And I have a spiritual side to me. I know where the power comes from, and I'm not going to talk religion because I know but for me, God, I believe in God, and I came from God. I'm a child of God, all of that. Um, and I know that the potential I have in the mind, the heart, the soul is, you know, so powerful. We don't even know. And when you're in that pit of despair, you can't see. There's walls all around you, and so this metaphor has been the kind of the launch pad. The twin bed, that was the start of the tear down era. And then when I went into trucking, that was uh my rebuilding phase. And so that's what I offer. That's why I'm here, is to help, the mind, the heart begin to align and be on a mission. So there you are.
And two guys, two different stories, but what I want our brothers to expect from this podcast and the post that we're going to make and everything else that we're going to drive from this point forward is how to get back up and how to keep fighting.
Yes.
At the end of the day, I believe life puts you on a path. And if I share the story of my last year, I'm grateful for my second wife having passed through my life, because what happened during that marriage
Oof.
ended up opening the doors for after my divorce. So
Yeah.
I believe, life speaks to you. All you have to do is shut up and listen. And I think shutting up is the biggest part. But, you know, we're we're gonna challenge you guys
Oh yeah.
for what it's gonna take. And there's times that you're gonna hate us. There's times where you're gonna tell us to go fuck ourselves, and we're good with that. Um, but
You're
you
damn
know,
straight.
but at the end of the day, my coaching. So I call myself Whiskey Geo for my
Love it.
coaching. And the reason why is whiskey's just a different type of alcohol. You have to appreciate it. You can't just like guzzle it. It's not,
Yeah.
it's not tequila. It's not rum. It's not vodka, right? So you sip and appreciate it. So for me, my coaching sessions is as if we're having a whiskey together, and we're
Love.
just
Wow.
it's you know I'm that brother that you pay to force you to look at yourself in the mirror, and that's what I want to bring for free in this group. But we're going to challenge you on everything, on your decision making during your divorce process, on your health, physical health,
Yep.
mental health. And not everybody, everybody's going to have their own flavor. I get up at 3:30 every morning and I hit the gym for 2.5 hours. That's how I keep my sanity. Do you need to do the same? No. Do you need to move your ass? Absolutely, because
You do.
motion creates emotion, and focus flows where your energy goes. So we're
Yep.
going to challenge that. And for those who are willing to follow us through, I'm pretty sure that we're going to have a positive impact on your life.
Oh yeah. And now you do the 2.5 hours of like working out. I'm a nature guy. I love walks. I love bicycling, hiking, backpacking. In the wintertime I can't always, but I can always walk. Yeah, I have a car, but I'm gonna walk the mile to go to work, and then after work I'm gonna walk another probably 2 miles, 3 miles, whatever it is, and enjoy. Well, and that's my time, and that's how I move. And nature has a huge impact on me, and so you get two different but the same principle applies. Move that the rear end needs to move. I parked my rear end way too long in the couch with
Yep.
Netflix or with something else in the driver's seat. And I finally said, "Hey, no, this is my driver's seat. I'm gonna the controls are in the driver's seat. If you're in the passenger seat, you got no control." And I'm with Whiskey Geo when it comes to getting in your face and saying, "Look, you know, I'm going to tell you to man up and get in the driver's seat. Kick whatever's in your driver's seat out, because that's where the steering wheel is. That's where the brake is, the accelerator, the clutch, if you're going to put it in gear, you're not going to put it in gear from the passenger seat,
Exactly.
So yeah, I love it, Gio. I love it. Um, we're already 26 minutes in. I don't want this to drag on. Uh, I'd love to continue, but we're gonna keep these, I think, less than 30 minutes, don't you think, Gio?
It has to be less than 30 minutes, or else you guys are going to get fed up of
They're
us. And
gonna
so I think this was a good intro. But coming up, we're going to hit every single topic, and we're going to ask you guys for feedback on topics.
You betcha.
There's going to be
Yep.
lives, there's going to be posts. Like, we're really dedicated to making this work. Um, and I sign every single one of my emails at your service.
Love it.
And brothers, and I'm pretty sure I speak for Mike, we are at your service. Whatever you guys need, you feel free, you come talk to us, and we will address it. If we have to do extra podcasts in 1 week, we will, or if we have to turn it into post, whatever it is and whatever the topic, we're here
Yes.
for you. And the love that I have, and I think that Mike has for this group, is absolutely genuine and authentic. And all we want to do is help you make your life better.
Just let me end by saying this. The road ahead, it doesn't need to be a dead end. It doesn't need to be a dead end. Just, we're here to help you not be at the dead end, help you either turn around, blast through the roadblock, whatever it is. Just join us in the group. Reach out if you see a live that we're doing, a poll that we might ask a question on. It's such an active group. I appreciate my brothers so very much, especially you, Gio. Now that we've gotten to talk this a little bit, wow, I didn't realize how big of a servant's heart you have. I think you've got a servant's heart that's bigger than mine, even.
No
So
comparison.
I appreciate you very much. I
We're,
do.
we're together on this journey, and I'm excited about it. And it's brought you in my life as a new friend, and what we're going to be able to achieve together, I'm really excited for it. So
And I
stay
I
tuned.
usually end my conversations or my communications with let's go to grow is my little thing.
Let's go.
So
I love that.
let's go to grow.
Okay.
And with that, I love you all. Love
Signing
you,
off.
brethren. I appreciate you. Hang on, Gio. I'm going to stop the recording, and it's got to upload just a little bit of housekeeping stuff. You brothers, appreciate you. Drop some love in the comments. A question that you or a topic that you want to have with us. Future, we can have an audience here, Gio. I didn't know if you know that or not, but we can have
Yep.
an audience here, and so I think the next go around, we're going to, you know advertise a little bit and say, hey, if you want to be in the audience live, join us, and we'll
Just going to get bigger and better.
exactly. All right.